Okay, let's talk about resumes. You know that feeling when you spend hours crafting the perfect applications, send it off, and then nothing? Just silence? If that sounds familiar, this explainer is for you. We're going to break down exactly how to write resume bullets that get noticed.
So let's start with a pretty staggering number, 98%. That's the percentage of Fortune 500 companies that use automated software to screen your resume. This software is called an applicant tracking system, or ATS, and it means the very first thing that reads your resume isn't a person at all. It's a robot.
And that, right there, is the million-dollar question for every single job seeker today. You're not just writing for a hiring manager anymore. You have to figure out how to get past the robot first and then impress the human. It's a two-part challenge.
So yeah, you can think of it like this. Your resume has to pass two totally different tests. Let's break down who these two gatekeepers are, and more importantly, what each one is really looking for.
You can really see the difference when you put them side by side. On one hand, you have the robot. It's a sorting machine, pure and simple. It's just scanning for specific keywords and ranking you based on a relevant score, and it absolutely hates complicated formatting. On the other hand, you have the human recruiter. They spend, 6 or 7 seconds on your resume? They're scanning for achievements, for proof of your value. They hate vague descriptions of your duties. Your resume has to be built to impress both of them.
Okay, first things first. Before you can even think about impressing a person, you have to get past that software filter. So let's talk about how to speak the robot's language.
This chart shows the #1 reason most resumes get tossed out right away, the keyword gap. On average, a job description lists about 22 specific skills, but the average resume that gets submitted, it only includes about 13 of them. That's a huge disconnect, and it's exactly what an ATS is designed to filter out.
So, how do you beat it? Well, you have to make it incredibly easy for the software to understand your resume. That means mirroring the exact job title. It means carefully reading the job description and weaving those exact keywords and phrases into your bullet points. A great tip is to use both the full term and the acronym, like Customer Relationship Management and then CRM in parentheses. And please, keep the formatting simple. No tables, no columns, no fancy graphics. A clean Word doc or PDF is always your best bet.
All right, so you did it. Your resume made it past the robot gatekeeper. Fantastic. But now, the clock is ticking. You have literally just a few seconds to grab a real person's attention and convince them you're the one they need to talk to.
And this number is exactly why it's so critical. 34%, that's a full third of hiring managers, say a lack of quantifiable results is an absolute deal breaker. They don't just want to see what you were responsible for. They need to see what you actually accomplished. They need numbers.
I mean, just look at the difference here. It's night and day, right? Responsible for sales is so generic, but generated 1.2 million pounds in new business? Now that is concrete proof of your value. This is the mental shift you have to make for every single bullet point on your resume. Stop listing tasks and start showing off your impact. So how do you actually do that? How do you make that shift consistently? Well, there's a really simple framework that will completely change how you write your resume. It's called the W method. The WHO method is basically your secret weapon. It's a simple, repeatable formula, an acronym really, that helps you turn a boring list of duties into a powerful story of your achievements. It forces you to include everything that both the robot and the recruiter are looking for.
Let's break it down. The W is for what you did. This is the starting point, the basic task. Something like managed social media. But honestly, on its own, this is the weakest part of your bullet point.
Next up is the H for how you did it. Now this is where you start to add the good stuff, the context. What skills did you use? What software or tools? This is the perfect place to naturally work in those keywords from the job description that the ATS is scanning for.
And finally, we have O for the outcome. This is the payoff. This is the most important part. What was the result? What was the impact of your work? Did you make money, save time? This is where you add those powerful, quantifiable results that prove you get things done.
Okay, theory is one thing, but let's actually see this method in action. We're going to take a really common, weak bullet point and transform it into something powerful.
So we'll start with this. I'm sure we've all seen this, or maybe even written it on a resume before. Responsible for managing social media. It's not wrong, but it's so passive and vague. It tells the reader almost nothing about what you can actually do.
We are going to give this a complete makeover using 3 simple steps. First, we'll lead with a strong action verb. Then, we'll add the how to get those key words in, and we'll finish with the outcome to show that real-world impact.
Step 1 is so important. You have got to drop passive language like responsible for. Instead, lead with a punchy, dynamic action verb that describes what you actually accomplished. Did you grow an account? Did you launch a product? Did you optimize a process? This one small change makes a huge difference. And boom, here is the final result. Look at that transformation. It tells a complete story, right? We start with the action verb, grew. What did we grow? The Instagram following. That's the W. How did we do it? By launching targeted email campaigns. That's our H. And the outcome? From 5,000 to 50,000 followers, plus that awesome open rate. Now that is a bullet point that gets you an interview.
Okay, so let's just do a super quick recap. Always remember, you're writing for 2 very different audiences, the robot and the human. Make sure you close that keyword gap by tailoring your resume. Use the WHO method, what, how, outcome, to turn every boring duty into a powerful achievement. And always lead with a strong action verb and use numbers.
So I want to leave you with this final thought. The next time you open your resume, I want you to ask yourself this question for every single line. Is this just telling them what I did, or is it proving how much value I can bring to their team? Make every single bullet point prove it.